What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be doing something different. Today I am going to be building my mom-in-law's first PC. So this is going to be basically like a how-to guide as well on how to build a PC to help anybody out there who's been wanting to build a PC but never really had the chance to. So this is your chance to learn. And without further ado, let's get into the parts that I got. So the CPU I went with is the Ryzen 5 5500 GT. It has integrated graphics. I know how some people feel about integrated graphics, but it's not going to be a super high-end build. So I got this one for the price point. Came up to $108. What we got is the GPU, and the GPU is the Radeon 6500 XT. Nothing too strenuous. It's not like she's going to be gaming or anything, but she's going to be doing like some video work, office stuff. So something to help build around that, and all of the stuff that's going to put it together is going to be the B550M Pro 4. This is a micro ITX motherboard. Has all the things built in, but the only thing it doesn't have built in is Wi-Fi adapter, but I came prepared. Gonna try to take advantage of the dual channel memory, so I got the Ripjaws 16GB 8x8 RAM for storage. Just went with the 1TB inland NVMe SSD, and then the case that's going to be holding it all is this Air ARGB by Monetech. Almost forgot to mention the power supply. Yeah, I got the power spec 650 watt power supply. Nothing too crazy, but something a little upgradable in the future. So I got all this parts, and the monitor that I got for this is right here. I got the Fire Legend gaming monitor. Now this is a 1080p 240 megahertz monitor, 1 millisecond response time. So yeah, this is actually a really good monitor for the price point. This actually came up to like $150. Usually for something that has like 240 hertz, really comes up to like around $200 or that $300 price range. So this was a good deal. It's not gonna be something too strenuous. This is just something like mid-range build, nothing too crazy. Without further ado, let's get all the parts together and get started with the build. I always start off building with the motherboard first, because I'm gonna show you a little trick that I learned to make sure that everything in your system all works. All right, see? Yep, this is the motherboard right here. Looks nice and sleek too. Always have your motherboard on top of either the box or something like this material, so that way it doesn't mess up the back of the board. Now moving on to the next step, you're gonna move this little lever right here. Well, I'm gonna bring it up to you guys. So right here, this little lever. Yeah, this little lever right here, it usually starts off down. You're just gonna pull this up, and now we're gonna insert our CPU. Now in most Ryzen builds, they will always have a heatsink. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like after, but right now, I'm just gonna put this to the side. And what we wanna put in is this right here. This is the CPU. This is the Ryzen 5 5500 GT. So you carefully wanna take it out. Yeah, you always wanna hold it from the side or the corner. You never wanna touch it from the back, because the back is where all these pins are. As you guys can see, these are like the pins that goes into the motherboard. These are very sensitive. Try your best not to bend them, because once you bend them, even one little pin is ruined. There's like a little tiny corner. Let me see if my camera can focus on it. This little corner right here, you can probably see the little gold tip in the reflection. Yeah, right there, you can probably see it a lot better right there. That little gold tip. You gotta match this little gold tip with the little triangle right here on the board. Yeah, so it's gonna be like a little tiny triangle. It's like right there. So we're gonna match the two corners. It's kind of hard to see first time building, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. You'll notice it right away once you see it in person. So what you want to do is you want to drop it in there, but don't give it pressure, or else it will mess up the pins. So you gently want to put it in, like so. If it's not going in, just gently correct it from side to side until it drops down in place, like that. So yeah, see, it dropped down. And then now you want to put your lever and pull it all the way down until it clicks. And just like that, the CPU is now installed. All right, next up on the list is to install the RAM. To install the RAM is pretty easy. It might be a little bit scary at first, but it's not as bad as you think it will be when you first start it off. Yeah, this little divot right there, you're gonna match it with one of the divots here on this motherboard. As you guys can see, like right here, that little line in between these spaces, that's where you want to line them up at. They can only go in one way. If you try pushing the other way, then you just broke your RAM. It's point blank simple. And also you would want to know where your dual channel is. Dual channel usually helps you get better performance with your RAM. It usually be either 2 or 4 on the motherboard or 1 or 3. But always check with the manual or look online on what your motherboard is and where you can get the dual channel. What you want to do is when you slide it in with the lines and divot, you're going to push it in very firmly until you hear it click. Or you see the latch firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp it!
First RAM is installed. Now you're going to lift this lever up. Make sure this lever is lifted. Sometimes motherboards might have both of them, but this one only has the one. So you just lift this one and then slide it in on the other side. Up. See, that time I didn't line it up. It didn't fit, so that's why it stopped me midway. So now it's in there. Now you firmly want to press down and then clicks. There you go. The RAM is now installed. The next thing I'm going to do, because this is the secret tip that I was going to tell you guys, is that I'm going to actually unbox the GPU right here, and I'm actually going to start plug it in so I can see if all components work. Usually you want to have a test bench, but if you do not, like I said, the motherboard makes for a good, well, the motherboard box makes for a good test bench. Go take off this little piece right here. Go take it off, and then that's the plug-in part. So the GPU will go in either one of these two. So it will go in this one or this one, either or. But I always like doing the top one right here because it's the most convenient one inside the build. What you're gonna start off doing is that there's a lever right here. You're gonna push it out. And now once that is pushed out, you're gonna put this part of the GPU. There's like a little another divot right there, like in the RAM. You're gonna line it up with the divot that's on the motherboard right over here. So I'm gonna line it up, and then just like the RAM, you're gonna push it in until you hear a little click, like that. All right, so now the GPU is installed. Okay, so for this step, you're gonna want to unbox your power supply, and we're gonna plug in a few cords. All right, so this is the power supply. It is semi-modular. Got this because budget reasons. I was trying to keep the whole build under $700. Actually came up to $750, and that's because basically upgraded the storage. But don't mind the ketchup and mustard cables. This is what I asked for. Well, it's what she asked for. Now what we're going to do is plug everything up to the motherboard. All right, you guys. So please excuse the lighting. Now what I'm going to do is connect the power supply into the board, and then we're going to try to test and see if it turns on first. The biggest one right here, this is going to power your motherboard. It will go into this part right here. We're going to plug that up, and when you push it in, it's going to be a little bit firm. The next cord we're going to plug up, this cord right here. Yeah, so this is going to power your CPU right here, and this part will plug into the top area right around here. To show you guys, it's going to be right behind here. I'll show you guys after I put it all together. Sometimes they come split like this, like where you can split it like that. It all depends on the motherboard, but for this motherboard, that's all we put together looking like this. Now the final step is to plug in the GPU. Now the plug for the GPU is right here. Now like I said, this is a semi-modular build for the power supply. Luckily they have it color coordinated, as you guys can see. If you guys can't see right here, it's going to be this red marker right here. It's going to be this red piece right here. So luckily they color coordinated like that, which is really nice. Okay, so now this is plugged into the power supply. Now it's time to plug this up into the GPU. And again, some manufacturers might label this as GPU, but they label this one as PCIe. Both the same thing. There we go. Now that we got all three plugged up, it's time to turn on the PC and see if it turns on first. Alright guys, so I know you're a little bit worried for anybody that builds PCs that have this open, like have no heatsink or nothing to it. That's gonna be fine, because it's gonna be just turn on for like 3 seconds. See if it pops up on the screen. I'm just gonna turn it off very quickly. So I now have it hooked up right over here on my GPU to my HDMI cable. Plugged up right into my monitor right here, and then all we're going to do now is just turn this on. There's a little switch on the back, just flip that up, Alright, so now what you want to do when everything's plugged up and turned on, you're gonna go right over here to this area. You can't really see it clearly on camera, but there's a plus and a minus, and you're gonna put the tip of a screwdriver onto it just to turn it off. Alright, you guys, so I tried turning it on, but it is not turning on. Usually when you turn on a motherboard, there's like some blinking lights here in the corner, and I turned this on, the power supply on and off. My only guess is that, like, worst case scenario, which I don't want it to be, is that the motherboard is dead, but I don't want that to be. I also think maybe the power supply is faulty because I turn it on, it's off right now. Well, no, it's on. Turn it off, still nothing happens. Turn it on, and nothing still happens. And it is plugged up, like it is plugged up right here on this cord. So yeah, I might need to get a new power supply for the system. So be right back.
The next day.
Alright, you guys, I'm back again. So I went out, got a new motherboard, and I got a different power supply. This time I'm going with the Corsair CX650 modular. So now I'm going to try this out again. Let me plug in my GPU, and then I am going to be now testing to see if it'll come on this monitor right here. Without further ado, let's try to see if this works. Alright, so with a little finessing, I finally got a light on. So that means it's working. Try and see if the rest of the system will turn on. There we go. Alright, that's what we want to see. Now we just gotta see if it comes on here. Alright, yep, there it is. Perfect. Alright, so now we know it boot up. Now let's get started with the build. Alright, you guys, so this is the case I'm working with right here. This is what the chassis looks like. I like this a lot. This was only like $65, and it's not bad for $65 if I say so myself. Oh yeah, this is cool too. I just now realized it already comes with 3 built-in fans. And oh, also 1 exhaust fan. That is honestly amazing to have a case that has all 4 fans, for these for intake, 1 for exhaust. For $64, this is actually a really good case. The panel is, I wouldn't say mesh, but it's like that, a mesh like metal. I don't think it's solid metal, it might be aluminum, but either way, this is honestly a great deal for a case. So yeah, case name, what was it? It was the Monetech, and it's the Air 100 series. So for $65, this is a good starting case. So before I get the motherboard into the case, I'm going to be installing the CPU cooler. It's the one that came in with the CPU. It's not bad. The little gray stuff right here, this is thermal paste. Usually you sometimes have to apply it on to the CPU itself before you put these on, but the fact that this is pre-applied makes it a whole lot easier. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when installing the cooler, there's these 4 screws, 1 right here, 1 right here, 1 right here, and 1 right here. So you're going to unscrew all of them. There we go. Perfect. So the cool thing is that it's magnetic, so it picks up the screws. It's a whole lot helpful to have magnetic screwdrivers. That way you don't have to lose any screw parts inside the system. You're going to be taking these pieces off. Going to be taking these pieces off of them. There's 2, so you just take off both of them. And then you're going to be seeing 4 holes right around here in this area where you took out the pieces. So now what you're going to do is, and I should also say, make sure you have it starting off in a flat surface, because these 4 holes are the brackets on the back of it. So you don't want that to be falling off. So you're going to try to line up the CPU cooler with the 4 holes right here. Going to be laying down just like that. Now screwing in, you want to screw in like a top corner first, and then the opposite bottom corner. And also don't start screwing in all the way in one corner. You want them to just be screwed in at first, and then once they are screwed in, you're going to start screwing in each and every other corner. And you don't want it too tight, you just want it to be at least nice and firm and secure. So I'm just going in the order that I screwed them in, so that way it'll have even pressure along the CPU for when it's cooling. So when you turn it and you feel resistance, you can't turn no more, just stop at that point, because then tying it too tightly will mess up with the CPU. This piece where the cord is, so to show you guys where it's going to go on this motherboard, it's going to be plugged into right here. So it says CPU fan, that's where you're going to plug in your CPU at. So I'm going to plug it there like so. There we go. All right, so now the CPU fan is installed. All right, so the next step is to get this front panel, well, not the front panel, but the side panel off. Plastic parts right here, I'm trying to save that for last because this is like the most relaxing part of it, I believe. Lift that up, take that out like that. Perfect. Nice and easy right here on this hinge. I think if yep, it slides right out. That's amazing. Okay, so yeah, not too hard. It's mainly secured by this piece connecting over to this piece right here. So yeah, I'll say that's pretty nice, pretty easy. Yeah, I highly recommend this case for a nice, friendly starter case. Yeah, I highly recommend the Monetech Air 100. Oh, that's cool. They came with the mesh panel, actually. I like it. I like it a lot. This case is getting better and better. It's surprising me. So I'm saying this because this will happen. I almost forgot, but this will happen to you. The IO shield that comes with it, this part goes in first. This is the first thing you always put into a case, because when you start putting the motherboard in here, there's no other way to put it in here. Put this on here. So yeah, this is the most important step. Glad I remembered it. All right, so it's gonna be going in this way, and this part goes into this rectangular section right here. It's always gonna be right next to the exhaust fan, unless otherwise, depending on the case. The ridges are gonna go in, the backside. This part is foam, which is nice. This part is gonna be touching the CPU. This part is gonna be outside. Get it in there, just gonna fit it into the rectangle. Like so. Just like that. You're gonna give it a nice push until you hear it click everywhere. There we go. So yep, nice and easy. So the IO shield is now installed. The motherboard will always go in this way. There's going to be some key points right there. Let me point that out really quickly before I put that in there. All right, as you guys can see here, there's like some standoffs. There's one right here, and then there's going to be one on top of there, one right over here. They stand out pretty easily. They're like the only screws that pop off on the back of this case. All right, so now I got it in there. Now I gotta screw all the screw parts in. All right, you guys, so I was taking a quick look around because I completely forgot that I couldn't find the screws to screw in the motherboard. So I took it out really quickly, and now I have it inside its bare bones state. I took off the back panel. And this craziest thing is that, like, hold on. So yeah, this case has a built-in fan connector, which is crazy to me because this case keeps getting better and better. It's scaring me a little bit. Like for $65, I am in awe, and I'm shocked honestly to have a case that has fan connectors, easy to access, 3 fans. Well, 3 intakes, 1 exhaust already built into the case. Like, I don't know, I'm out of words here. And so I found the screws, and the screws are actually in this compartment right here where the hard drive is supposed to be. Yeah, let me take this stuff. Let me take this. Yeah, like this part right here. This is where the hard drive goes, but nobody uses hard drives these days. So I'm gonna take that out. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention one thing I overlooked right here. Automatically comes with cable managing Velcro strips, and they're already pre-managed. This case gets better and better. So after further investigation, I found out how to take out the hard drive. The hard drive case is right here. There's 2 screws right here and right over here. I just gotta unscrew these, and then I'm able to take it out. So I'm gonna do that right now. Well, that came out. Hard drive case uninstalled. And after looking at it, I think it also can do SSD, because I see these 2 holes right here. Might be able to do SSD. Yeah, right here on the back probably it can, but other than that, there's no SSD in here other than the NVMe, and it's not going in here, so this is going out. All right, and also there's gonna be lots of tiny screws in here. These ones right here are the ones you want to be looking for. The other size, like this thick one right here, this thick one is for fans. This one is for motherboard. So make sure you know the difference. And another cool thing about magnetic tip, holds it in there while you screw it in. So correction, you're gonna want the little itty bitty ones right there. Looks like this one. The other one I showed you is for a different type. That one will not work out. I just tried. You'll see the holes on the motherboard. It lines up with the holes inside the case. So you're just gonna line them up properly and then screw them in. I like to start from the top and then start at the bottom and then go from the side. And you do wanna make sure that you have all of them. And yeah, this is another cool thing that it extends. Helps a lot, especially with these side pieces. These side pieces are hard to get to with a regular screwdriver, especially if you gotta hold them in there. So this is gonna be the last one, and there we go. All right, motherboard installed. So once all those screws are in there, you can now lift up the PC and your motherboard will be safely secure like so. All right, so the SSD I got is a 1 terabyte inland SSD. Got it straight from Micro Center. Going to be installing this bad boy in here. And like I said, my mom-in-law, she's just going to be doing like sound work, editing, so just some office work stuff. So nothing's too strenuous. I can always upgrade her to a different or add more storage later on. But for right now, 1 terabyte is good enough. To install the NVMe, there's 2 ways. This right here, it says M.2 Armor. So you're gonna want to install it right there. There's also another spot right here in this area, but I mostly want this one for the heatsink. So you're gonna start by undoing these 2 screws right over here. All right, so now what you're gonna do is take off the shield right here. It's gonna come with this blue little film on it. You're gonna peel that off once you get the M.2 drive in here. What you wanna do is you're gonna put this in at a 45-degree angle first. So it's gonna be this side going into a long brown, well no, not long brown, but long thin black box. You're gonna put it in a 45-degree angle until it's in nice and smoothly. There we go. So yeah, it's gonna be sticking up naturally. So now you're gonna peel this. You're gonna peel this piece off right here, like so. There you are. And then you're gonna have it be pushed back the way it was. All right, so now you're gonna get your screw piece and then screw it back in like how it was before. And just like that, the M.2 drive is installed. Normally, it's up to you. If you want to install a GPU, you just gotta put it right in there like how I did the first time. Or you can do what I'm about to do and then just start cable managing everything. And then I'll go ahead and install a GPU afterwards. All right, so now the next thing we're gonna be setting up is the power supply. The power supply is gonna be, this back end is gonna be right here. In order to get it in there, we're gonna have to slide it in like so. Oh, dropped a little bit, but that's okay. Now, I'm just gonna leave it right there for a quick second. So the power supply always or mostly comes with 4 screws. These 4 screws are gonna go in the 4 corner around the power supply. Perfect. Now, the power supply is installed.
The next day.
All right, so it's the next day, and I realized I made a mistake here. So I accidentally put my power supply upside down. I just came down to notice that, so I'm just gonna flip that over. All right, so now that's taken out. Like I said, the fan part is right here. So this part is gonna be facing down here, so we put it down this way. Now the power supply is properly installed. Now we're gonna move on to installing all these cables. Okay, so first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna route the cables where they're gonna go. This big cable right here, this is gonna be the motherboard cable. It's gonna be around this general area right here. So we're gonna there's a grommet right here. I'm going to be undoing these nice looking zip ties. So this is going to go right through this grommet right here. So this is how I like to try to cable manage everything, especially when it has cables like these. You could use zip ties. Sometimes you gotta use the built-in system. It also does come with zip ties themselves. You could use these as well. This right here is the GPU PCIe cable. This is what is when we plug up the GPU. Sometimes it comes with 2 ends. And I'm gonna have this one right here, this second grommet, because the GPU is gonna be one of the lowest parts on the motherboard. Go put that right in there. And then we have right here the CPU power cord. I'm going to route this up in a way, trying to map it, because it's going to be right in here. Now it's on to the tricky part. Like all these cables right here, all these little tiny ones, these are all the cords that's going to be connected to your case to power it on and off, show all the lights and stuff like that. And then I'm not sure if this is like a USB 3.0 or Type C. I'm not sure if this motherboard has it. We'll see. If your motherboard doesn't support it, you can always just tuck it right down here on the side. And yep, this one goes right to the controller. This plug right here, I don't know if you guys see it, it says SATA. It looks like this. So this is going to be plugged up to a SATA cord, and then this is going to be the RGB pin, or 3-point pin. ARGB input, that's what it's called right here. Alright, so the SATA power cable that you're looking for to plug this in is going to be plugged into something like this. So it's going to look like this, and then this is the plug that goes right into the motherboard right here. This would have been a lot easier if I would have plugged this up before I put in the power supply, but I wasn't thinking ahead at this point. Then you're going to find on the power supply, it says SATA/PATA. I don't know what PATA is, but someone in the comments can let me know what PATA is. And then I'm going to plug it in right there. Now that is plugged in. And now you're going to plug this one onto one of these like so. Let's see, this way it only goes in one way, so you can't mess that up. This part is installed. You tuck this in right under here. And then for the ARGB, there's little holes right underneath here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that little hole where you can see my desk at right here. Right here, there's like little 4 holes about this small. So that's where mainly all these cables are going to go. They're going to go right underneath the motherboard. So let's slide these under here. So these little ones right here, these are, if I had to choose a hard part about building PCs, it would be these 4 right here. Because you gotta like have good eyesight and good hand-eye coordination to put them in there. But this ain't nothing too strenuous. So let's see. I'd probably say it's a little too early, but I don't like seeing my cables like this. So I'm gonna start zip tying these up. Definitely would want bigger zip ties for this. Thought it was nice, but after seeing like, yeah, this is like the best I can close these, and it's not really looking pretty spectacular right there. All right, so now I got everything through. Now I'm going to start piecing it to pieces. This is the GPU, so this is going to be installed last. The long cable right here, this is going to go right next to the RAM, this big slot right next to it. It's going to go in just as so. You're going to have this side where you see this little ridge. This is going to be on the outside of the motherboard, so it's going to be like so. Then you're going to push it in very firmly. All right. Make sure you apply pressure from the back of the motherboard and this one, so that way you're not bending it too much. And then it's going to be kind of hard to see, but on the top of here, this is where we got the CPU plugger. It's going to go right where I put it. It's going to go right over here when I'm pointing. It's kind of hard to see because it's a little dark, but this is where most of the CPU plug will go into. It's kind of similar to the motherboard. You're going to have the motherboard plug, you're going to have the ridge on the top side. Next up on the list is these little cords right here. With these little cords, you're going to be plugging each and every one of these up into the bottom, or at the very bottom of the motherboard right around here. Some cases have it all put together, but this is not one of those things. So I am going to diligently figure out where each one goes. Yep, got those little ones in correctly. This is the ARGB header. So this is what controls the lights. This audio one, this is the one that controls the sound. So this is going to go on this side over here. Let me change that. And then for the audio header, there's like one little blank space. You probably can't see it, but there's gonna be like one little blank space. You match that with the blank space that's on this header right here. Now that's in there. Cable, I'm gonna change its location. There we go. Now that's in there. Now all of that is plugged up. Now it's time for the piece de resistance, which is the GPU. Right around here, there's these slots. You're gonna push these out. This is gonna take up about 2 slots. Yep. So yeah, it's gonna take out 2 slots. So you're gonna knock out these 2. Some GPUs might require 3 because these days the GPUs are getting bigger and bigger. Just gotta break it. There we go. Just gotta give it a little wiggle. Now we can start putting in the GPU. Like before, gonna pull this latch down right next to here. Gonna line it up properly. Oh, forgot one part. Yep, I gotta screw this out. I guess if you ever want to do a vertical mount, right here. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. So yeah, right here. So this part is slidable. So it's like you literally can just unscrew this little thing right here, slide it in, close it, open it. I don't think it's big enough for like probably not like a 4070 or anything like that. Nothing that takes up 2 slots, but it's cool to have this part. Makes it expandable. There's screw points right here. So yeah, yep. I am going to take this thing out. So let's take it out now. Back to putting in the GPU. I'm going to slot it in just like so. I'm going to put some pressure on the back of the motherboard. Push it in. Hear a click. There we go. Alright, so now that's in there. And now what we want to do is screw it in along this side right over here. So yeah, right here we're going to put in some screws so that way it can help make the GPU be stabilized and not have as much sag. So yep, you're just gonna line it up properly and then screw in. This one has 2, so you're gonna screw in 2 of them. There we go. There we go, a lot better. Now the one thing I was trying to install was this. It was a Wi-Fi adapter. Like this is what it looks like. It's pretty thin, but we shall see how this looks. Hope this doesn't look sketchy. Oh, I gotta take out more of these. Alright, moment of truth. Yeah, this ain't too bad. I can work with this, yeah. It's like right there, here. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing. Yeah, so like right there. Let me back it up a little bit. Yeah, I can't use my hand right now, but like right here, that little black box, that's the Wi-Fi adapter. And it's like, you can see that little bit of space right underneath the fan. I think that will work perfectly. I thought it might touch the fan or something, but it's a little sketch, but I can work with it. It'll actually be working out a lot better this way. So, all right, so now to have the adapter work, we're gonna use one of these. This little white bit is gonna be plugged up to the adapter from the back right over here. You guys most likely can't see it. Again, I'm sorry. I'm going to work on my camera ship when I'm doing PC builds, if I ever do another one. But if you guys do like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See if there's something that you want to see on occasional basis. I'm not really liquid like that to always be doing PC builds, but if the time ever does occur to where I can do PC builds, I don't mind doing PC builds. I do like my channel about manga, because I do love manga and anime. Yeah, I do PC stuff on the side. I made my first PC like 4 years ago, going on 4 years. I might just have to take out the GPU. My hand can't. Gotta take out GPU. All right, so I took out GPU. You guys can probably see it a little bit better now right here. You can see that little white spot. That's where I'm going to be plugging it in at. But as I was saying, yeah, I do like my channel being mostly manga based. I'm going to be doing manga. Occasionally, I'm going to be doing tech stuff like this. I might not do like no high def, like talking about every GPU out there and stuff like that. When it comes to building PCs, I can build PCs, but I'm not like a tech nerd where I know every single component and what they does. I just know what's good, what's not good. That's basically the story of why I'm making my mom-in-law a computer, because I would feel bad if we got like a HP desktop or something and later down the line it's not going to work. I decided to just get the parts, build it for her, and so that way she can have a really working PC that is upgradable later on down the line. And I do believe this is going to be a nice, not close to mid-range, but at least long-lasting enough to where she can do her stuff and not have to worry about anything from this computer. But yeah, make sure in the comments that you let me know if you like this video. Would you like to see me do more of it? What kind of build should I do next? Should I do like a high-end build, low-end build? Just something to think about. So now that we have the GPU installed, we're going to be putting in the adapter. Not the adapter, but the power cable. I'm going to try to zip tie this so this little piece isn't dangling all over the place. Let's see to make sure I got everything plugged in. I think the one thing I might need to plug in is our fans. I don't think, yeah, I haven't plugged that in yet. Oh, and I'm missing a USB right here. Man, it was sticking wide out. So, yeah, I almost missed this part. Gonna plug this in. Ugh, gotta change the holes. There we go. And yeah, it's a lot easier if the GPU wasn't in the way. If I remembered, it would have been a whole lot better, but there we go. USB is installed. All right, so now let's flip this bad boy over and make sure I got the fan. This is plugged in, everything's plugged in. All right, so now we're gonna push everything in. Okay, that's in there. And this is tightened down by some screws. There's no brackets to really hold it, but as long as these two screws are in there, this will work out. All right. Okay, back side's looking good. I kind of want to put this back on. I'm gonna put this back on, so that way this part where my hand is closed. I didn't screw in the PCIe Wi-Fi. Does it need it? No, but I like everything to be secure. This is how the back side's looking. Looking pretty good, looking pretty clean if I say so myself. Well, the side panel I should say. It's gonna hook into these little latches right here. There we go. And then a nice smooth close. And then it claps. Okay. There we go. All right. It's looking pretty good. I like it. It's like a kind of a stealth black build, you know? All right, let's turn this bad boy on. All right, here it is. Side note, I gotta clean my desk, I know, but we're here for this. So yep, everything's all plugged in and ready to go. I got everything plugged into the back. Now it's time to flip the switch. We're gonna see if it boots up again on here. All right. And the good Lord once said, "Let there be light."
Bruh.
I think I know what the problem is. I didn't plug it in. Alright, let's try it again. This time it is plugged in. I confirmed. The good Lord once said, "Let there be light." Hey, look at that. Let's see, the fans, everything's turning on. Yep, CPU fans going. The lights are turned on, but the fans are not turning. And it is booting, that is good, but let's fix these fans. Alright you guys, I fixed it. There was like a white cable that I completely missed in the back that connects to the fan headers. I connected the RGB headers to make it light up, but I did not connect the fan header to make it turn on. So with that plugged in, let's try it again. Alright, first, before I make another mistake, switch this on. And now, 3, 2, 1, everything should work.
Bruh.
Why aren't you working? Everyone's working but you. Probably easy fix. It's probably not plugged in all the way, but let's get that situated. Alright you guys, so I finally fixed that fan. My battery was getting low on my camera, so I wasn't able to fully record what was going on. Basically what happened was this fan, there was this fan splitter that was in the back. It basically had only 2 pins and one of them fell off. So that part of the fan splitter was broken. So what I did was I just unplugged it from there. I plugged this one directly into the motherboard. And now all the fans are working nice and smoothly. And one cool feature this case has is that this little button right here, this button right here. So if I press it, it changes the color, which is really cool. Change it to like many different effects and stuff. So yeah, this case is surprising me more and more every time I work with it. So I'm gonna get this back to the color I had before. So this is the same color, but it's like a breathing form. Like it breathes like that. So yeah, it changes colors. They're all in unison, so they all change color within themselves. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it this color because I think it's one of our favorite colors. And now I got Windows installed. That is a whole nother problem right here because this is Windows 10. For some reason, even though all the parts specifies that it can work with Windows 10, it just kept telling me that it can't install Windows 10. So, I mean, not Windows 10, Windows 11. It kept telling me it cannot install Windows 11. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off Windows 10 and then later on upgrade it into Windows 11. I'm just trying to get it started up. Next up, we're gonna film her reaction of seeing her new PC. All right, here it is, right over here.
Yay!
That's my dad.
Woo! Yes! It is it! You did it! Okay.
Can I turn it on too?
Press this button.
Which one? This one?
Yep, this one.
Okay, this one.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh! This is mine?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh
yours.
yeah, this is beautiful. Oh,
Can I touch
man.
it too?
Oh man, look at the keyboard, man. Carlos, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is amazing. Oh. Wait, fingers, I gotta get a chance.
Can I click
There
the
you go.
X?
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you, Carlos. You did it. You told me, you promised me you was gonna do this and you helped me.
I
You
would've
helped me
won
reach my
on it.
goal. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And this is the keyboard too. I'm just, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I cannot, and wisdom to know the difference. I'm almost about to cry. So beautiful. All right, let me test her out. Oh man. Okay. Whoa. Fingers, little fingers ready. This is business, Anna. It was a surprise. You promised. We went to get it. You said you was going to build it. You build it. I'm so thankful you did this from the bottom of my heart. I'm so thankful. And my son-in-law, he built this for me for my voiceover work. So I'm so indebted and so thankful for this. Oh man.